and keep you glued to the screen. What if I told you that one chilly evening, under the flickering streetlights of a busy city, a struggling musician's life changed forever when a mysterious billionaire stepped out of the shadows and made her an offer she couldn't ignore? Picture this, a young woman, her fingers calloused from strumming her beat-up guitar, pouring her soul into songs for strangers who barely stop to listen, when suddenly, a sleek black car pulls up, and a man with wealth beyond imagination offers her a deal that could rewrite her future. But here's the kicker. What was the catch? What did he want in return? You're curious, aren't you? I can feel it. You're wondering how a random street performer went from scraping by to standing at the edge of a life-altering decision. And I promise you by the end of this video, you'll know every jaw-dropping detail. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's dive into this unbelievable true story that's got everyone talking. A tale of dreams, ambition, and secrets that'll leave you questioning everything. You know that feeling when you're chasing a dream, but it feels like the world's stacked against you? Maybe you're grinding at a job you hate, or you're pouring your heart into a passion project that nobody seems to notice. That's exactly where our girl Lily was at. She was 24, living in a cramped apartment with peeling paint, barely making enough from her street performances to cover rent. Every day, she'd haul her guitar to the same corner in downtown Chicago, where the wind off Lake Michigan stung her face, and she'd sing her heart out for tips. Her voice. It was raw, soulful, the kind that could stop you in your tracks if you really listened. But most people didn't. They'd toss $1 or $2 into her guitar case, maybe snap a quick video for their Instagram stories with hashtags like #streetmusician or #hidden-talent, and keep walking. Lily wasn't just another busker though. She had dreams bigger than that corner. She wanted stages, spotlights, a chance to share her music with the world. But life wasn't giving her any breaks. She'd been at it for years, posting covers on YouTube, hoping to go viral, but her videos barely cracked 1,000 views. Sound familiar? Maybe you've felt that same grind, that ache for something more, wondering if your big moment's ever gonna come. Well, stick with me, because Lily's story is about to take a turn you won't see coming, and it's gonna hit you right in the feels. Now, let's talk about you for a second. You're here because you love a good story, right? You're the kind of person who gets hooked on those what happens next moments, the ones that make you forget the world for a while. I get it. I'm the same way. That's why I'm so excited to share this with you, because this isn't just some made-up drama. This is real, raw, and packed with twists that'll keep you on the edge of your seat. You're not just watching a video, you're stepping into Lily's world, feeling her struggles, her hopes, and the weight of the choice she's about to face. And I'm not gonna lie, this story's got it all. Ambition, mystery, a touch of glamour, and a whole lot of what the heck is going on? I'm talking about the kind of tale that's trending all over YouTube right now. Search terms like #inspiring stories, #life-changing moments, and #million-dollar deals are blowing up, and this video? It's got all that and more. But here's my promise to you. I'm not gonna waste your time. Every second of this video is building toward answers you're dying to know. Who was this billionaire? What did he see in Lily? And most importantly, what was the price of his offer? You're gonna get every single detail, but you've gotta stick with me to the end, because trust me, you won't want to miss a thing. Let's set the scene a little more, because I want you to feel like you're right there with Lily. It's a Friday night in Chicago, the kind of evening where the city's buzzing with energy. Neon signs are glowing, cabs are honking, and the air smells like hot dogs and possibility. Lily's on her usual corner, her guitar slung over her shoulder, her breath visible in the cold. She's wearing a thrift store jacket that's a size too big, and her dark hair's tucked under a beanie. She starts playing one of her original songs, something about chasing dreams in a world that doesn't care, and for a moment, it's just her and the music. A small crowd gathers, tourists mostly, snapping pics for their #cityvibes posts, but they drift away as soon as the song ends. Lily's used to it. She's used to the grind, the rejection, the feeling that maybe she's not good enough. But deep down, she's got this fire, this belief that her music could mean something someday. Have you ever felt that? That quiet, stubborn hope that keeps you going, even when everything else says give up. That's what makes Lily so relatable. She's not perfect, she's messy, stubborn, and a little rough around the edges, but she's real. And that's what makes what happens next so wild. Enter the billionaire. Now, I'm not gonna spill his name just yet. Don't worry, you'll get all the juicy details later. But let's just say this guy's the kind of rich that makes headlines. Think private jets, penthouse suites, and a reputation for getting what he wants. He's not your typical suit, though. He's got this air about him, like he sees the world differently, like he's always 3 steps ahead. That night, he's in Chicago for some high-stakes business deal, the kind that's all over the news with tags like #billion-dollar moves and #power players. He's not supposed to be anywhere near Lily's corner. He's got a driver, a schedule, a life that doesn't involve street performers. But for some reason, fate, luck, or maybe something else, his car slows down right where Lily's singing. He hears her voice through the tinted window, and something about it stops him cold. He steps out, all sharp suit and sharper eyes, and watches her. Lily doesn't notice him at first, she's lost in her song, but when she looks up, their eyes lock, and it's like the whole city goes quiet. He doesn't clap. He doesn't toss money into her case. Instead, he walks right up to her and says something that changes everything. What was it? Oh, you're dying to know, aren't you? I can see you leaning closer to the screen. Your curiosity burning. Hold tight, because I'm gonna tell you. But not just yet. Here's where things get interesting, and I need you to stay with me because this is the part that's gonna make you feel something. Lily's not just some random girl with a guitar. She's got a story that's gonna resonate with so many of you. She grew up in a small town, the kind of place where everybody knows your business and dreams of making it big are laughed off. Her mom worked 2 jobs to keep the lights on, and her dad? Well, he wasn't around much. Music was Lily's escape. Her way of making sense of a world that felt too small. She'd write songs in her bedroom, dreaming of a day when she'd play them for thousands. But dreams don't pay the bills, and by the time she was 20, she was in Chicago, chasing that dream with nothing but a guitar and a whole lot of grit. You know people like Lily, don't you? Maybe you are a Lily, fighting for your own shot, wondering if the universe is ever gonna give you a break. That's why this story's hitting so hard on YouTube right now. People are searching for #underdog stories and #dream chasers because they want to believe that hard work and heart can still win. And when this billionaire steps into Lily's life, it's like the universe finally notices her. But here's the thing. His offer wasn't just about money. It was about power, control, and a secret that could unravel everything Lily thought she knew about herself. I want to talk to you directly for a moment, because this video isn't just about Lily, it's about you too. You're here because you're drawn to stories that make you feel alive, stories that remind you that life can surprise you when you least expect it. You're the kind of person who roots for the underdog, who gets chills when someone beats the odds. And I'm telling you, this story's gonna deliver that and more. You're not just a viewer. You're part of this journey. You're gonna laugh, you're gonna gasp, and yeah, you might even tear up a little, because Lily's story is gonna hit you right in the heart. I'm not just throwing around buzzwords like #inspiration or #motivation to game the algorithm. This is real. You're gonna see yourself in Lily's struggles, and you're gonna wonder what you'd do if you were in her shoes. Would you take the billionaire's offer, knowing there's a catch? Would you risk everything for a shot at your dream? These are the questions that are gonna keep you watching, because I'm not just telling you a story. I'm inviting you into one. And I promise, if you stick with me to the end, you're gonna get answers that'll blow your mind. Let's talk about the vibe of this story, because I want you to feel it in your bones. This isn't just a feel-good rags to riches tale, though it's got those vibes. It's got this undercurrent of mystery, like a thriller you can't put down. The billionaire's not your typical savior. He's got his own agenda, and it's not all shiny and altruistic. His world is all glitz and power, but there's darkness there too. Secrets he's not telling, motives that don't quite add up. Lily's world, on the other hand, is gritty and real, full of late-night diner coffee and the ache of a dream that's just out of reach. When these two worlds collide, it's electric, like a spark that could either light up Lily's life or burn it all down. The atmosphere's tense, hopeful, and just a little dangerous, and it's gonna pull you in like nothing else on YouTube right now. People are searching for #mystery stories and #life twists because they want that rush, and this video's got it in spades. But it's not just about the drama, it's about what it means to chase a dream, to stand at a crossroads and decide who you're gonna be. That's the heart of this story, and it's why you're not gonna be able to look away. Now, I know you're itching to know more about the offer, and I'm gonna give you just enough to keep you hooked. The billionaire didn't just offer Lily money, though, trust me, there was plenty of that on the table. He offered her a chance to make her music dreams come true, to step out of the shadows and into the spotlight. But there was a condition, something that made Lily's stomach twist when she heard it. It wasn't illegal, it wasn't scandalous, at least, not in the way you're probably thinking. but it was big. Big enough to make her question everything. Was it worth it? Could she trust this guy? And why her, out of all the musicians in the world? These are the questions that kept Lily up at night, and they're the same ones that are gonna keep you watching. You're not just here for the drama. You're here because you want to know what you'd do in her place. You want to know if dreams really do come true, or if there's always a price. And I'm telling you, you're gonna find out. Every twist, every secret, every heart-pounding moment. It's all coming, and it's gonna be worth it. Here's where I'm gonna leave you, because I want you to feel that itch, that need to keep watching. Lily's standing on that street corner, the billionaire's words echoing in her head, her guitar still warm from her last song. The city's alive around her, but all she can hear is her own heartbeat, pounding like a drum. She's got a choice to make. One that could change her life forever, or break her in ways she can't even imagine. What did he ask her to do? What was the real cost of his offer? And what happens when a struggling musician steps into a world of wealth, power, and secrets she's not prepared for? You're gonna find out, but only if you keep watching. So, hit that play button, stay with me, and let's find out together what happened when Lily said yes, or did she? Right there on that chilly Chicago street corner, Lily stood frozen, her guitar still slung over her shoulder, the billionaire's words ringing in her ears like a song she couldn't shake. The city pulsed around her. Honking cabs, chattering crowds, the distant wail of a siren, but all she could feel was the weight of the moment. His offer wasn't just a lifeline, it was a Pandora's box, glittering with promise but heavy with unspoken consequences. He'd promised her a shot at stardom, a chance to record in a real studio, to have her music heard by millions. But there was something else, something he wanted from her that made her skin prickle with unease. It wasn't money, it wasn't fame in the traditional sense, it was personal, tied to a part of her past she'd buried long ago. As the sleek black car pulled away, its tail lights fading into the neon blur of the city, Lily was left alone with a decision that felt bigger than her dreams, bigger than her life. You're probably sitting there, wondering what could be so intense that it stopped a girl like Lily in her tracks, right? I get it, that's the kind of hashtag life-changing moment that's got people glued to YouTube, searching for hashtag underdog stories and hashtag mystery twists, because we all want to know what happens when an ordinary person gets thrown into an extraordinary situation. Stick with me, because this story's about to get deeper, with layers of intrigue and secrets that'll keep you hooked, and I promise, you're gonna feel like you're right there with Lily, navigating this wild ride. Let's rewind a bit to understand who Lily really is, because she's not just some random street performer with a guitar and a dream. Growing up in a small Illinois town, Lily was the kid who always had a melody in her head, humming tunes while she helped her mom scrub tables at the local diner. Her mom, Carla, was a single parent with a smile that hid a world of exhaustion, working double shifts to keep them afloat after Lily's dad walked out when she was 6. Music was Lily's rebellion against a life that felt too small, too suffocating. She'd sneak into the school's music room after hours, teaching herself chords on a battered piano, writing songs about escape, about a world where she wasn't just the diner girl with holes in her sneakers. By 16, she was performing at local fairs, her voice raw but powerful, earning whispers of hashtag hidden talent from folks who didn't quite know what to make of her. But small towns can be cruel to big dreamers, and Lily faced her share of sneers. Classmates who called her wannabe, and teachers who told her to focus on realistic goals. Have you ever felt that? That sting when someone tries to shrink your dreams? That's what pushed Lily to Chicago at 20, with nothing but a duffel bag, her guitar, and a stubborn belief that her music could matter. Now, at 24, she was still fighting, her YouTube channel filled with covers that barely got views, her hashtag street musician posts lost in the algorithm. But that fire in her? It never went out, and it's what made the billionaire's offer so tempting, and so terrifying. Now let's talk about this billionaire, because he's not just a plot device. He's a puzzle, and every piece you learn about him only deepens the mystery. His name's Victor Grayson, a 40-something tech mogul who built an empire on AI and data analytics, the kind of guy whose every move trends under hashtag billion-dollar deals and hashtag power players. He's not your stereotypical rich guy though. No flashy watches or loud bravado. Victor's got this quiet intensity, like he's always calculating, always seeing angles nobody else does. He's based in San Francisco, but his influence stretches everywhere. Think private dinners with senators and cryptic ex-posts that spark hashtag conspiracy theories about his real motives. That night in Chicago, he was in town for a hush-hush meeting with investors, the kind that could shift markets. So why was he on Lily's corner? It wasn't random, that much is clear. Victor had a reason for stopping, a reason tied to something he knew about Lily, something she didn't even know about herself. Was it her music? Her past? Or something else entirely? You're feeling that itch now, aren't you? That need to know what's driving this guy, what's behind his polished smile. That's the kind of hashtag mystery story that's blowing up on YouTube, because Victor's not just offering Lily a deal. He's pulling her into a game she doesn't understand, and the stakes are higher than she realizes. Here's where the plot thickens, because Lily's not the only one caught in this web. Enter Mia, Lily's best friend and unofficial manager, a 25-year-old barista with a knack for social media and a loyalty to Lily that runs deep. Mia's the one who films Lily's street performances, posting them with hashtags like hashtag Chicago Talent and hashtag Support Local Artists, trying to get her noticed. She's got her own dreams, maybe a career in digital marketing. But for now, she's all in on Lily's music, even when it means late nights editing videos or dragging Lily to open mic nights. Mia was there that night, just out of sight, packing up Lily's tip jar when Victor approached. She didn't hear the whole conversation, but she saw the look on Lily's face, part awe, part fear, and it set off alarm bells. Mia's not just a sidekick, she's got her own perspective, and she's skeptical of Victor from the jump. She's been burned before, trusting people who promised big things, and she's not about to let Lily get played. Mia's digging into Victor's background, scrolling through X4 hashtag billionaire secrets and old articles about his shady business deals, and what she's finding isn't adding up. Why would a guy like Victor care about a street performer? What's his endgame? Mia's subplot adds this delicious layer of tension, because while Lily's wrestling with the offer, Mia's uncovering clues that could change everything. You're rooting for these two, aren't you? You want them to figure this out together, but you're also nervous about what they'll find. Let's add another layer, because this story's not just about Lily and Victor. It's about the world they're navigating, a world that's both dazzling and dangerous. Victor's offer wasn't just a one-off. It's part of something bigger, something tied to his company, Nexus AI. Nexus isn't just a tech giant. It's a cultural force, shaping trends, predicting behavior, and, some say, controlling more than it should. There's chatter on X about Nexus's secret projects. Hashtag AI revolution stuff that sounds like sci-fi but feels too real. Victor's been linked to a mysterious initiative called Echelon, a program that supposedly identifies unique talent for undisclosed purposes. Is Lily part of this? Did Nexus's algorithms flag her for reasons beyond her music? The idea's chilling, especially when you consider Lily's past. See, Lily's not just a small-town girl with a guitar. She's got a secret she doesn't talk about, not even to Mia. When she was a kid, she was part of a strange psychological study, something her mom signed her up for to make ends meet. She doesn't remember much, just sterile rooms, weird questions, and a doctor who seemed too interested in her creativity. Could Victor know about this? Could it be why he chose her? You're starting to see the threads now, right? The kind of hashtag conspiracy vibes that make you want to keep watching, because this isn't just a story about a musician, it's a mystery that's unraveling on multiple levels. Back to Lily, because she's the heart of this, and her internal struggle is what's going to keep you invested. After Victor's car pulled away, she didn't sleep. She sat on her lumpy couch, staring at the business card he'd given her. Black, embossed with his name in gold, no phone number, just an email and the words, "Think carefully." Her mind was a mess. On one hand, this was her shot. Studios, producers, a real chance to make music that mattered. She could see herself on stage, hear the crowd singing her lyrics back to her, trending under hashtag new music and hashtag breakout star. But on the other hand, Victor's condition was gnawing at her. He hadn't asked for her soul or anything dramatic, but what he wanted was deeply personal, tied to her identity in a way that felt invasive. She couldn't shake the feeling that saying yes would mean giving up a piece of herself, maybe forever. Have you ever been at a crossroads like that? Where the thing you want most comes with a cost you're not sure you can pay. That's where Lily's at, and it's why her story's resonating with so many people searching for hashtag inspiring stories and hashtag life choices. She's not just fighting for fame, she's fighting for who she is, and every step she takes pulls her deeper into Victor's world. Mia's not letting this go quietly, and her perspective adds a whole new angle to the tension. The next morning, while Lily's still reeling, Mia's at her coffee shop job, sneaking onto her phone between orders, digging into Victor Grayson. She finds X posts from tech insiders hinting at Nexus's questionable ethics, data breaches, psychological profiling, even rumors of talent acquisitions that sound more like recruitment than opportunity. Mia's not a hacker, but she's scrappy, and she's got a friend, Jake, a freelance coder who's into #tech-exposed conspiracies. Jake's the kind of guy who thrives on uncovering secrets, and when Mia tells him about Victor, he's all in. He starts poking around Nexus's public-facing servers, looking for anything that might explain why a billionaire would care about Lily. What he finds is vague but unsettling, references to echelon, coded language about assets, and a single cryptic mention of a Chicago subject. Mia's gut tells her Lily's in over her head, but when she tries to warn her, Lily's defensive, caught between her dreams and her doubts. This friction between them, Mia's caution versus Lily's hope, adds a layer of #friendship drama that's so relatable, because who hasn't clashed with a friend who's just trying to protect you? The city itself is almost a character in this story, amplifying the stakes and the mood. Chicago's this gritty, vibrant backdrop, full of contrasts. Glitzy skyscrapers towering over dive bars, hope and hustle mixed with desperation. Lily's Corner near the Loop is a microcosm of that. Tourists snapping #cityvibes pics, locals rushing past, and dreamers like her fighting to be seen. Victor's world, though, is all penthouses and private clubs, places Lily's never even dreamed of stepping into. When she finally emails him, agreeing to meet, she's pulled into that world, a sleek office with floor-to-ceiling windows, where every glance feels like a test. Victor's there, all charm and control, but there's someone else in the room. A woman named Elise, his consultant, whose smile doesn't reach her eyes. Elise is polished, sharp, and seems to know more about Lily than she should. She drops hints about Lily's childhood, her music, even that long-forgotten study, and it's enough to make Lily's heart race. What's their angle? Why does Elise seem so invested? This new character adds another layer of #intrigue, because she's not just a side player. She's got her own motives, and they might not align with Victor's. You're feeling the tension now, right? The kind of #plot twist energy that makes you want to binge the whole story. As Lily sits in that office, the weight of Victor's offer pressing down on her, she's starting to realize this isn't just about her music. It's about her past, her choices, and maybe even her future in ways she can't yet grasp. Mia's digging, Jake's hacking, and Elise is watching, and every step Lily takes pulls her deeper into a mystery that's bigger than she ever imagined. What does Victor really want? What's echelon, and why does it matter? And what happens when a girl who spent her life fighting for her dreams realizes the cost might be more than she can bear? You're dying to know, aren't you? You're right there with Lily, feeling her hope, her fear, her fire, and I promise, the answers are coming. But for now, she's standing at the edge of a decision, with Victor's eyes on her, Elise's words in her head, and a secret from her past that's about to change everything. What's she gonna do next? Keep watching, because you're not gonna believe where this goes. Lily sat in Victor Grayson's sleek office, the Chicago skyline sprawling behind the glass, her heart pounding like a drumline as Elise's cryptic words hung in the air. The room was all sharp angles and cold elegance, a far cry from the gritty street corners where she'd poured her soul into her music. Victor's offer, a chance to record her songs, to step into the spotlight, still glittered like a dream, but the condition he'd laid out was a shadow over it all. He wanted her to share something from her past, something tied to that strange childhood study she barely remembered, something that felt like a key to a door she wasn't sure she wanted to open. Elise, with her polished smile and eyes that seemed to see too much, had hinted that this wasn't just about Lily's music. It was about her mind, her creativity, maybe even her identity. As Victor leaned forward, his voice smooth but insistent, asking her to trust him, Lily felt the walls closing in. She was on the verge of saying yes, of diving headfirst into this glittering, dangerous world, when her phone buzzed in her pocket, shattering the moment. It was a text from Mia. "Don't sign anything. Found something big. Meet me now." And just like that, the story you thought you knew took a sharp, heart-stopping turn. You're feeling it, aren't you? That rush of #plot twist energy that's got YouTube buzzing with #mystery stories and #shocking reveals? This is where things get wild, where the stakes skyrocket, and I promise, you're not going to want to look away as Lily's world starts to unravel in ways nobody saw coming. Let's pull back to Mia, because her subplot is about to collide with Lily's in a way that changes everything. While Lily was in Victor's office, Mia was holed up in a dimly lit coffee shop, her laptop glowing as she and Jake dug deeper into Nexus AI and its shadowy echelon project. Mia's no tech genius, but she's got a nose for trouble, and the more she learned about Victor, the more her gut screamed that Lily was in danger. Jake, with his scruffy beard and #tech-exposed obsession, had managed to pull some encrypted files from a Nexus server. Nothing illegal, just public-facing data that hadn't been properly secured. What they found was a bombshell. Echelon wasn't just about scouting talent. It was a program designed to identify and cultivate individuals with unique cognitive patterns, people whose creativity or intuition stood out in ways AI could predict but not replicate. There was a list, vague, coded, but chilling, and one entry caught Mia's eye. Subject 47, Chicago, auditory anomaly. No name, no photo, but the description matched Lily to a T, a young woman, a musician, with a history of psychological testing. Mia's hands shook as she texted Lily, her mind racing with #conspiracy vibes. Was Lily a target all along? Had Victor's chance encounter been a setup? And what did Nexus want with her brain? You're right there with Mia, aren't you? Feeling that mix of dread and excitement, the kind that's trending under #hidden truths, because this isn't just about a music deal anymore. It's about something much bigger, and Mia's discovery is the spark that's about to set everything ablaze. Back to Lily, because the text from Mia was like a bucket of ice water, snapping her out of Victor's spell. She mumbled an excuse, her voice shaky, and bolted from the office, leaving Victor and Elise exchanging glances that she didn't have time to decode. Outside, the Chicago wind hit her like a slap, grounding her as she raced to meet Mia at their usual spot, a dive bar near the Loop where the jukebox played old Springsteen tunes. When she got there, Mia was a mess, eyes wide, coffee jitters in full effect, her laptop open to a grainy document that looked like it belonged in a spy movie. Mia laid it all out. Echelon, Subject 47, the creepy implications that Nexus wasn't just interested in Lily's music but in her mind, maybe even her memories. Lily's first instinct was to laugh it off. Come on, this was her life, not some #sci-fi thriller trending on YouTube. But then Mia showed her a photo Jake had dug up, buried in an old research archive, a grainy image of a little girl, maybe 7, sitting in a sterile room with electrodes on her head, a guitar-shaped toy in her lap. Lily's breath caught. She didn't remember that moment, not exactly, but the girl's eyes, her eyes, stared back at her, and a memory flickered, a doctor's voice, soft but insistent, asking her to sing. The twist hit her like a freight train, and it's hitting you too, right? That #shocking moment when you realize the past you thought you knew isn't what it seems, and now Lily's not just chasing a dream. She's running from a truth she never asked for. Here's where the main conflict escalates, because Lily's no longer just deciding whether to take Victor's offer. She's questioning everything about her life. The study from her childhood, the one her mom never talked about, wasn't just some random psych experiment. It was tied to Nexus, or at least to the same shadowy network of researchers Victor's company now funds. Lily's mind raced as she sat in that bar, Mia's words blending with the clink of glasses and the hum of #city vibes outside. Was her talent, her music, even her dreams, shaped by whatever they did to her back then? And why was Victor so interested now? The stakes weren't just about fame anymore. They were about control, about who Lily was and who she'd become if she stepped into Victor's world. She wanted to confront him, to demand answers, but Mia begged her to wait. Jake was still digging, and going back to Victor now could tip him off. But Lily's not the waiting type. She's all heart and fire, and the idea that her life might have been manipulated lit a fuse in her. You know that feeling, don't you? When you realize someone's been pulling strings behind your back, and all you want is the truth, no matter the cost. That's where Lily's at, and it's why this story's gripping you, why people are searching for #life twists and #underdog fights, because Lily's not just a musician anymore. She's a fighter, and she's about to shake things up. Let's weave in Elise's perspective, because she's not just a background player. She's a wild card, and her role adds another layer of suspense. Elise isn't just Victor's consultant. She's a former neuropsychologist who worked on the original study that included Lily, back when it was funded by a government grant Nexus later absorbed. She's in her late 30s, all sharp suits and sharper intellect, but there's a weariness in her, a guilt she doesn't show. Elise knows more about Lily than Victor does. Knows what the study was really after. Knows why Lily's creativity flagged as anomalous. But she's not telling Victor everything. See, Elise has her own agenda, one that's starting to clash with Victor's plans. She's been watching Lily from afar, tracking her music, her #street musician posts, not out of malice but out of a strange sense of responsibility. When Victor brought Lily into the office, Elise was supposed to evaluate her, to confirm she was the right asset for Echelon. But seeing Lily in person, real, raw, full of the same fire Elise once had, cracked something in her. Now, Elise is walking a tightrope, feeding Victor just enough to keep him satisfied while quietly steering Lily away from the full truth. What's her endgame? Is she protecting Lily, or using her for something else? That's the kind of hashtag double agent drama that's got YouTube hooked, because Elisa's secrets are a ticking time bomb, and when they blow, nobody's walking away unscathed. The subplots are converging now, pulling the tension tighter. Jake's digging hits a wall when Nexus's servers lock him out, but not before he grabs one last clue. A memo mentioning Subject 47, and a retrieval protocol set to activate soon. Retrieval? That word sends chills down Mia's spine, and she's pushing Lily to run, to disappear before Victor's people come looking. But Lily's not running. She's done hiding, done letting her life be shaped by forces she doesn't understand. She decides to play Victor's game, to go back and pretend she's ready to sign, all while fishing for answers. It's a risky move, the kind that could make her a hashtag breakout star or break her completely. Meanwhile, Mia and Jake are planning their own counterattack, trying to leak what they found to X, hoping to spark a hashtag viral expose that'll force Nexus to back off. But they're not as sneaky as they think. Someone's watching, someone who reports to Elise, and the net's closing in. The city's alive around them, all hashtag Chicago Nights and neon glow, but it's also a trap, every corner hiding a choice that could change everything. You're on the edge of your seat, right? Feeling that hashtag cliffhanger vibes rush, because Lily's walking into the lion's den, and the twist you didn't see coming is about to flip the script. Here's the kicker, the unexpected turn that's gonna leave your jaw on the floor. As Lily prepares to meet Victor again, she digs through her mom's old things, looking for anything about that childhood study. Tucked in a shoebox, under faded photos and unpaid bills, she finds a letter. Yellowed, sealed, addressed to her in her mom's handwriting. Her hands tremble as she opens it, and the words hit like a thunderbolt. Lily, if you're reading this, you're in danger. The study wasn't what I thought. They wanted you for something bigger. Something I couldn't stop. Run. Baby. Don't trust anyone. The letter's dated 10 years ago, the year her mom got sick, the year she stopped talking about the past. Lily's world tilts. Her mom knew? Knew what? And why didn't she tell her? This isn't just a hashtag family secret. It's a revelation that rewrites everything Lily thought she understood, tying her past to Victor, to Nexus, to a plan that's been in motion since she was a kid. You're reeling, aren't you? You're right there with Lily, your heart racing as she clutches that letter, realizing the billionaire's offer wasn't a chance encounter. It was destiny, and it's coming for her whether she's ready or not. What's in the letter's next page? What's Victor's next move? And will Lily fight or flee? Keep watching, because this story's racing toward a climax you won't believe, and every second's gonna pull you deeper into the fire. Lily's hand shook as she clutched her mother's letter, the words, "Run, baby. Don't trust anyone," burning into her mind like a lyric she couldn't unhear. The dive bar's dim light flickered overhead, casting shadows across the crumpled paper, while Mia paced nearby, her phone buzzing with Jake's frantic updates. Chicago's pulse thrummed outside. Neon signs, late-night crowds, the hum of hashtag city vibes. But inside, Lily's world was collapsing. Her mom's warning, written a decade ago, tied her childhood study to Victor Grayson's Nexus AI and the mysterious Echelon project. A program that saw her not as a musician but as a puzzle to be solved. The letter's second page was missing, leaving more questions than answers, but one thing was clear. Victor's offer wasn't about her music. It was about her mind, her creativity, something Nexus had been tracking since she was a kid. Lily's heart raced as she realized she'd been a target all along. Her hashtag street musician life a blip in a plan she never consented to. Mia begged her to run, to ditch the city before Victor's retrieval protocol caught up, but Lily's fire, the same stubborn spark that kept her playing on freezing corners, flared brighter than ever. She wasn't running. She was going to face Victor, demand the truth, and take back her story. You're right there with her, aren't you? Feeling that hashtag underdog fights rush, the kind that's trending under hashtag inspiring stories, because this is it, the moment Lily steps into the climax of her life, and you're not gonna believe how it unfolds. Stick with me, because this resolution's gonna hit you in the heart, with a final twist that'll leave you speechless. Lily's decision to confront Victor was reckless, but it was her. She slipped Mia her mom's letter, asking her to keep digging with Jake, to post everything they had on X under hashtag viral expose if things went south. Mia protested, her loyalty clashing with her fear, but Lily was already out the door, her guitar slung over her shoulder like armor. She emailed Victor, agreeing to meet at his penthouse office, but this time, She wasn't the wide-eyed dreamer who'd sat in his boardroom. She was a woman with questions, with a past that demanded answers. The elevator ride up was a blur, Chicago's skyline glittering below like a promise she'd never been allowed to claim. Victor was waiting, all charm and control, with Elise at his side, her expression unreadable. He welcomed Lily like an old friend, offering her a seat, a contract, a future as a #breakout star. But Lily cut through the pleasantries, her voice steady despite the knot in her stomach. She told him about the letter, about Subject 47, about the study that marked her as a child. Victor's smile didn't falter, but Elise's eyes flickered, a crack in her polished facade. That's when Victor laid it all bare. And the truth was more staggering than Lily could have imagined. Echelon wasn't just about talent. It was about harnessing minds that defied AI's predictive models, minds like Lily's, whose creativity broke algorithms and hinted at something deeper, something Nexus called the spark. They'd been watching her since the study, not to harm her, but to study her, to learn how to replicate what made her unique. The offer? A chance to join Echelon, to shape the future of AI with her music, her mind, in exchange for giving Nexus access to her creative process. Forever. You're feeling the weight of that, right? That #mystery-revealed moment that's got YouTube buzzing with #sci-fi thriller vibes. Because Lily's not just choosing fame. She's choosing whether to surrender her soul. The climax hit like a chord. Raw and electric. Lily stood in that penthouse, Victor's words echoing, Elise's silence deafening. She saw the contract on the table, pages thick with promises of studios, tours, a life beyond her #Chicago nights. But she also saw her mom's handwriting, felt the weight of a childhood she didn't fully remember, the years of grinding for a dream that was hers, not Nexus's. She thought of Mia, of Jake, of the strangers who'd paused to hear her sing, tossing coins into her guitar case with #support local artists in their hearts. This was her moment, her crossroads, and she wasn't going to let anyone, billionaire or not, write her ending. With a breath that felt like fire, Lily tore the contract in half, the rip echoing in the sterile room. Victor's face tightened, but before he could speak, Elise stepped forward, her voice low but urgent. She told Lily to leave, to disappear, because Nexus wouldn't let her walk away so easily. Elise's betrayal of Victor was a shock, a #double agent twist that flipped the script. She wasn't just a consultant, she'd been part of the original study, had seen kids like Lily used as data points, and her guilt had been eating her alive. She handed Lily a USB drive, whispering that it held proof of Echelon's overreach, enough to expose Nexus if it got out. Lily didn't wait to hear more, she bolted, her heart pounding as she hit the streets, knowing she'd just declared war on a billionaire. You're on the edge of your seat, aren't you? That #cliffhanger vibes rush, because Lily's not just fighting for her music. She's fighting for her freedom, and the battle's just begun. The resolution came fast, but it wasn't clean, it was messy, human, real. Lily met Mia and Jake at a 24-hour diner, the USB drive burning a hole in her pocket. Jake cracked it open on his laptop, revealing files that confirmed everything. Echelon's experiments, Nexus's plans to patent Spark data, even a list of other subjects like Lily, scattered across the country. Mia, ever the strategist, uploaded the files to X, tagging them with #techexposed and #hidden truths, and within hours, the post went viral, trending alongside #conspiracy theories as whistleblowers and hackers piled on. Nexus's stock tanked, Victor's face was plastered across news feeds, and Echelon was paused indefinitely. Lily didn't become a star, not yet, but she became a symbol, a dream chaser who'd taken on a giant and won. She kept playing her music, but now her street performances drew crowds. Her YouTube channel exploding with #new music fans who saw her as more than a voice. They saw her as a fighter. Mia and Jake stayed by her side, their bond tighter than ever, their #friendship goals a quiet anchor in the chaos. Elise vanished, her role in the leak a mystery, but Lily liked to think she was out there, making amends. The subplots tied up, but not perfectly. Mia was still chasing her marketing dreams, Jake was dodging Nexus's lawyers, and Lily was left with questions about her past, about what the study had done to her. But she was free, her music her own, her story hers to tell. You're feeling that #inspiration, right? That sense of triumph that's got people searching for #underdog stories. Because Lily didn't just survive, she thrived, on her terms. And now, the final twist, the one that's gonna leave you in awe. Months later, as Lily played a gig at a small Chicago venue, her voice soaring under #live music lights, a package arrived at her apartment. No return address. Just a note in familiar handwriting, Elise's. Inside was the missing page of her mom's letter, and it wasn't a warning, it was a confession. Her mom had been part of the study too, a young musician whose spark had caught the researcher's eye before she quit, pregnant with Lily, to protect her from their reach. The study hadn't shaped Lily's talent, it had come from her mom, passed down like a melody, a gift Nexus could never own. Lily read the words through tears, her mom's love a chord that resonated through time, and in that moment, she knew her music wasn't just hers, it was a legacy, a #family secret that made her unstoppable. You're speechless, aren't you? That #shocking reveal, that #life-changing moment, it's why this story's trending, why it's more than a tale of a struggling musician. It's a reminder that our dreams, our fire, come from places deeper than any algorithm can touch. So, what's the takeaway? Keep chasing your spark, no matter who tries to claim it, because like Lily, you're more than your struggles. You're a story, and it's yours to sing. Thank you for watching, for believing in Lily, in me, in this wild, beautiful ride. Hit that like button, subscribe, and let's keep telling stories that matter, together.